Hello, Real Talkers. Comedian, impressionist, musician, composer, everything together. I got it here, right here. Ami Kozak.
Go on. Good to be here, Adasa. In real life, as they say.
What do I pick from you? Like, I've been following you for so long.
All lanes firing. I started off in the music world for many years, and I've been doing that for a long time. I play in a band called Distant Cousins. It's original music. I've written music for film and television.
Oh.
And more in the past couple of years, I've opened up the comedy world.
And you're just, how old are you?
38.
You've done a lot already. And you're still not even halfway. I think you still have a lot of things coming for you.
I think I'm now on the young side of old, you know? I think like as you approach past the 20s, you're getting to like the older side of young.
Yeah.
And now like I'm making all the grunting noises. As I just walk and move through the world, I just start hearing, four little kids. I'm the young side of old.
4 kids.
You know, so like I'm looking up to the 40s and 50s and they're like, yeah, you're coming into our world now. Grunting. Back, things like that, dad bod. You know.
But you have a lot of things going for you, and this is what I want to talk about.
Sure.
So I discovered you through your comedy, your imitations. My favorite, I'm going to say it right now, so I'm going to get over with. It's Prince Harry, which absolutely.
Because you're also a ginger.
That's not good.
No, it's because of the red hair. So we connect on that.
It's true.
But it's hurtful. I don't know why this room is so white. That's unconscious bias. I didn't expect to see that in Israel, but that's disgusting. It's very hurtful. It's very, very hurtful.
I wonder if he ever saw you. He probably would hate you.
I will tell you, I got the power of Instagram, a message on my Instagram from like the staff of Buckingham Palace.
You're kidding me.
And they were like, by the way, we love your stuff.
No way.
Not that the text had an accent, but I imagined the text. They said,
we do adore it.
We love your videos. Keep going. Oh my God, we love them. So there's it gets through, and I tag the Sussex account in all of those videos when it was.
You should tag Prince William.
Yeah, I tried to.
Love it.
I'm sure they're like him and Kate are just like, oh my God, this guy's got Harry again. Come, let's watch this. You know, Dad, look, Daddy, look. Oh my God, he's perfectly gets Harry and his ghostly wife. Yeah. So yeah.
I knew I had to.
When that was topical, yeah, I really hit the Prince Harry stuff pretty hard. But it comes in waves, depending on which impression is like firing off and is kind of trending at a certain point.
Do you prepare? So you does it work like, okay, now the whole situation with Harry came out, so you're doing Harry, or it just comes out naturally?
Yeah, you know, when I trained in school in various people, so I majored in Prince Harry my freshman year, and then Kamala Harris my second year, and then I minored in Douglas Murray. No, when you're making content, on these platforms, you're constantly having to be creative and think of new ideas to put out. And so I'm using these platforms like anybody else. And when things come across my feed and I find something funny I can kind of have fun with and play with, Prince Harry was all over the news. And then I started like one video and I tried it. And boom, it kind of blew up. And then that kind of built me up like a nice Twitter following, because Twitter really responds to what's topical and trending. So I put up Prince Harry on Twitter and started getting a response there. So you're really always just like fishing when you're content creating and casting out a net and seeing what you catch.
But what I like is that through your imitation, you always send a message.
Right.
And that's smart.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just out there.
Yeah, I mean, an impression, it can be just a party trick of like, look, I can sound like this person, but often what's really funny about an impression is like, you know, the impression itself is the icing on the cake, but the cake is like what your angle is.
Absolutely.
You know, and Harry was getting a little too sensitive, so I found that funny.
Then you moved to Trump is fantastic.
Well, Trump is in and out every 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. It never gets tired, you know, it never gets old, because he constantly finds a way to stay right there in the pocket, right in the news, and you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it. And we have the numbers, so you have to do it.
Did you get a message from the team of Trump?
I'm trying to think. Yes, not, you know, there's like people on the team Trump, like in that world, who I see liking videos and sharing videos and stuff. None from the Don directly. No, he has to be very careful, you know, because there's a lot of people doing it. Not as, I think I'm really up there with maybe the top 2 people doing it. Especially the mellow Trump, you know, there's the bombastic Trump is here. Really, totally crazy, and we love ARUTZ SHEVA. 7 News, we love that. We love the number 7. It's a holy number for the Jews, and we love the Jews. But now there's like a mellow podcasting Trump, and we have to take the country back. That's what we have to do.
I really hope he sees you.
I hope so too.
You have Douglas Murray.
He was on an interview, and he's being very serious, like, it's talk about the Gaza and Hamas and what Israel is doing to win a war against these brutal savages. And then she goes, okay, but let's talk about Army Kozak's impression. He goes, yes, he's very good, yes. Well, so, Douglas Murray sort of came about as I was watching the news feeds, and he's a real hero for the Jewish people, certainly, and will explain who will protect the Jews. Not the Europeans. Not the Arab world, but only the Jews and Douglas Murray will protect. He's actually in Israel right now.
I do know.
Yes, of course. Well, we'll see about that. Yeah.
You get into the character. You become them.
You
like
turn it
Kamala
on.
Harris. You don't look like Kamala Harris. You're not even a woman. And
Well,
yet I'm looking, and it's her.
I don't look like her, but to look like someone and to be someone who can be so many people, all in one speech. So many accents. And someone, come on, man, you can be Kamala Harris all at once. Come on, man. And then, I love you back. She speaks to a Hispanic accent. She says, I love you back. I love you back. But Kamala Harris is multiple people. And no people at all. Combined into a single middle-class kid. So, there's things that you can do every day. And I want to be clear about this because this is important. There are things that you can do every day to embody a hypothesis by which we all look towards a new way forward. Sitting at a desk which is plastic and made of materials made by working class Americans every day, working so hard. I could keep going, but you're going to have to stop. We're going to do it again in 2024. What, you think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Kamala Harris.
This is all on its own. I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah. You just give me the cue.
Does your wife like this? Does she appreciate? She laugh with you all the time?
We haven't spoken in many years. She sees like the preview, so
Right.
she sees all the
Do you test it on her?
new fresh. She appreciates mostly like when I imitate my mom or like grandparents.
Oh my gosh.
People within the family. People.
You entertain the family, like on family meetings?
Sure.
You imitate everybody?
But like we have a phrase like 60-40. Like I could stop at 60%, but I usually take the extra 40, and that's when it's a problem. But usually new bits. New bits kill at home, and then eventually the kids are still fans at first, but.
They like your stuff, your kids?
Yeah,
Or
I
are
imitate
they-
like their friends in their class. They're like
God.
little, like
Oh
their
my God,
4-year-old
that's
friends. I'll do impressions of their friends, and
That's hysterical.
they will enjoy that. Yeah.
So, firstly, I want to tell you, continue with this because it's super entertaining, especially when we need to laugh.
Yeah,
There's a
of course.
need to laugh, Ami, and you're here in Israel. Do you go around and, lifting up some moods in army bases, or do the people know you? Do they recognize
Right.
you?
So it's actually I haven't this whole past year I've been talking a lot about Israel in a serious way, but I've been certainly I have plans to go around and entertain chayalim, entertain people who have been suffering or traumatized, and just
They
try to
need
lift
it
their spirits.
so
I think,
badly.
and I think there's been a lot of good work done to, put a spotlight on the tragedy of what's happened. But
Yeah.
I think in a way the best way to combat that in the long run is to showcase the life that is
Right.
that is taking place in Israel, the culture of life.
Right.
The energy. Laughing, celebrating, having fun. I mean, that's what you see when you come here.
That's
you
true.
don't feel this sense of somber. People are messaging when you say, I'm going to Israel. Oh my God, are you okay? Like,
Right.
it gets not only, and at the same time, like you want people to realize it's a serious situation.
Right.
So there's this conflict that's always going on in what's being broadcast to the world of what the situation is like, because it is serious. But the spirit and resilience of the Israeli people, when you come, you see it's
It's amazing.
they go on living and they go on being resilient, and I find I'm best suited at this point to contribute to that and go around and entertain people and also kind of make fun of Israel, which is really fun to go around as an American.
So you probably go back with a lot of material. We'll see a lot of Israelis.
So much material. I just keep writing things down and voice noting. Even from the flight here. The LL flight here is...
Oh, that's a whole
People
show
are
of
blowing
its
up
own.
air mattresses in the halls of an LL flight. Everyone's got their hacks now. Hasidim with like plastic bags. The plane takes off, and before you're even at cruising altitude, everyone is like standing up. It's like,
Opening picnic bags.
I have this idea if like you're a non-Jewish person and you're flying LL for the first
Forget
time, like
about
you'll
it.
be completely shell-shocked. And people are blowing up like these special things for kids to put their legs on. They're blowing up full tents. They're glamping in the back of the plane. And then you get here, and there's just like there's a lot of funny things. The cab drivers that can smell your like, out of town visitor
Yeah.
thing when you're picking up at a hotel. They're driving you like 300 feet, and they'll be like 100, what is it, 150 shekel, 200 shekel. I'm like 300 feet. I'm like, why not walk? I don't know, but I just get in. I say a la monnaie to try to, a la monnaie.
They feel you're American in a second.
They can pick up on it. So,
but you have also a very serious music career.
Yeah. So I started in the music business. I moved to LA in 2011. I was there for about 10 years, doing mostly music for film and television, commercials, advertising. And my band that I started out there is called Distant Cousins, with two other guys who were kind of well known in the Jewish music scene in America.
Of course, we love Distant Cousins.
Yeah. So
they gotta come see us.
We're trying to get over here to play some shows. I think we'd have one of our members is Israeli, is from Moshav Modi'in.
Nice.
And so we have been itching to get over here to play. We just released our first. We mainly have been making English music, what you'd call secular music, but
you were on a soundtrack of a cartoon, if you're not mistaken.
Yeah, we've had music in feature films, and the How to Train Your Dragon used our song in a trailer, and we've been active in that world, composing custom music for kids' television shows. And we've also released original music, and our most recent album is called Out of the Darkness, and we were working on an album like we always had been, but then October 7th happened, so we kind of shifted the record to be really about a healing, using Tehillim and different tefillot, and really embracing our Jewish identity as a band and putting that forward, making a both English-Hebrew hybrid record that contains both English lyrics and Hebrew lyrics.
Beautiful.
So we're excited about that.
And you worked with Alex Clare and Matityahu?
Sure. So the band actually just finished a tour this past summer with Matityahu. And we're going again on tour on the West Coast in the United States, California, with Matityahu. He's become a really good friend and mentor. I've worked with him on some of his music. I wrote one of his songs that's on his new record called Fireproof with him and another producer, Ben Antelis.
So you write also?
I write as well, yeah. So I worked with Matityahu independently, and then him and Distant Cousins have been collaborating and doing these tours together.
Oh, I didn't know.
And it's been amazing.
And Alex is
a friend also. I've had him on my podcast, and I was recently in a music video with him. We were on a rooftop in Brooklyn.
Stunning. That song is beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And I was cast to be the bass player in the video, and so we have a relationship. And it's been amazing to see, we're filled right now with so much shame and guilt thrown at the Jewish world, at the Israeli community, at the Zionist community. So when you go in these spaces, like on the road with Matityahu, the audience is throwing up Israeli flags. And I'm talking in the middle of way upstate New York or Massachusetts that aren't particularly known to be Jewish areas. Yeah. But you're seeing a lot of philo-Semitism, like pro-Jewish energy that love Israel, love the Jewish people.
So there is a lot of love.
A few Jews for Jesus out there, that's fine. They're in there too. But, they just love the Jewish community. They have a strong sense of solidarity. So when you spend time doom scrolling online in that sort of weird percentage of hate, you realize there's a whole world out there that's not confined to the toxic space of online, that is actually very much in line and very much standing strong with Israel and the Jewish people. So that's nice and encouraging to see.
I want to close with one thing.
Sure.
When a comedian stands in front of a crowd, what's the biggest fear?
When you stand in front of a crowd,
you're about to start.
You're about to start.
What's your prayer?
Yeah, don't suck. I mean, you're walking a tightrope.
Right.
You're alone, oftentimes, as opposed to playing with a band or something like that. And there's a lot of, it's combat a little bit. It's like that's why they call it. You want your punches to land. You're embattled with the audience in some way. You have to bring them onto your side.
Right.
And you're walking a tightrope.
Exactly.
And you want to make it across at minimum. And then at the highest level, you really want to transcend and get to this point where it's flowing and everybody's with you.
So you have that fear for a second that they're not going to laugh? They're not going to get it?
I mean, it's more like, at a really deeper level, you want to connect. Whenever you're performing with an audience, you want there to form this sort of connection that transcends the particular material or the joke. And you're trying to, the audience wants you to succeed in a way. There's they want to be comfortable. So your job is to make them comfortable, in a sense.
Interesting.
So they want, when you're up there and you're watching somebody, it's also scary in the audience. You're like, oh, what's this going to be?
Exactly.
I don't Stand-up is unique in that you're really out there seemingly with no armor, no weapons.
Do you like
you're very
it?
exposed. Sure, there's a pain to pleasure threshold. So I've been doing music a long time. When you get up on stage with a band and you play some music, there's a little bit of mystery around it. And there are a lot of like tools at your disposal to help connect with an audience.
Yeah.
And therefore, at the end of the day, like I've been doing it so long that there's a really strong pleasure component and a little bit of pain. Occasionally things go wrong or whatever you have to deal with. And with stand-up, it's a lot of pain and a little bit of pleasure that's really condensed into like a really great set, and it feels great. But it's like a quick drug, quick fix. Then you get off and you're like, okay. And then you're constantly the difference between stand-up and other art forms performance arts is it's hard to separate like stand-up from your own personal identity, self-consciousness. But the truth is, if they don't like a set, like they don't like the jokes, so you have to work on the jokes. It's not like they really don't like you.
Yeah.
You know, to separate yourself from the craft is a healthy way to look at all of this stuff. It's just that people tend to see stand-up as at one with the artist who's doing it. You know, when you don't like a song, you're like, I didn't like that song. You don't say, I hate you.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Totally understand.
I'm offended by that note. With stand-up, it's a little more
gets
visceral
personal.
and it feels personal, but that's an illusion.
Got it.
But it is terrifying.
Who's the best comedian for
It's
you?
impossible question.
Is Seinfeld one of them?
I think it's Kamala Harris. She's killing it out there. She does this great bit. It's called I Have No Idea What I'm Talking About. Her improv is amazing. She can just go from one sentence to another and put words together in some kind of a salad. Which is healthy, and we need to get Americans to focus on nutrition. And I want to be clear about this. I want to be clear. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? And that's what I want to say about because comedy is so important to a middle class kid. Trump kills on the mic. He goes for an hour, totally improv, just killing it. So he doesn't mean to be a comedian, but he kind of is. I think that's why he does so well. But it's hard to pick a favorite. There's so many different comedians. I'm so excited by a lot of the great Israeli comedians coming out too.
Yeah.
So, future is bright, and
I mean,
the Jews bring comedy. So
thank you.
Yeah,
Really,
thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing us so much joy and laughter. We need
pleasure.
it so badly. I'm looking forward to your new imitations. And have a good time here. Enjoy Sukkot.
I will enjoy Sukkot, and this is the final words from Bibi Netanyahu thanking Hadassah for having me in this beautiful studio in ARUTZ SHEVA. It's a very important news organization to be broadcasting what we are fighting in Israel, which is an uncompromising threat like we've never seen across the world, and no one has faced a threat. There, where's my camera? Right there. No one has faced a threat the way Israel has. We are fighting for our survival, and we will be victorious. Make no mistake. We will be victorious. That's your final words from Bibi Netanyahu. Thank you, Hadassah.
Thank you, Ami.
Thank you.
You're great. Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai.
I hope you had a good time. You had a good laugh, because I for sure did. Ami Kozak. He's everywhere. Instagram, Facebook. Follow him. Take care and have a good time.